I want her phone number so badly. I don't know who that is.
That ain't bad, man. For a band that's really not. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. They really they made me kind of get stoked about folk metal again.
Yeah. Well, they're one of the few that can.
Yeah. That Moon Sorrow.
What is it? Sour?
However you say that word in
S-A-O-R,
Scottish.
yeah.
Sour.
Well, they're Scots.
Oh, sour.
Sour.
It's either or ur.
But you got to do the tongue roll first. Aritza.
Like everyone's favorite engineer.
Not that any Scot fucking actually talks that way.
That's true. It's pretty close though. Like the making fun of the Scottish accent is not too far away from the actual Scottish accent.
Right. Unless you're fucking Scotland, I guess.
Yeah, then you would probably take offense to that.
All offensive, yeah.
God, that was really good. That was I think they have a new one coming out. Forgotten Realms comes out kind of soon.
Yeah, well, and the main reason we're stepping in with this one because the rest of the releases this week, when Papa Roach is at the top of the list.
Yeah, and it's, we like to check out bands that we've never heard of.
Yeah.
But when they're all bands we've never heard of,
right,
and Papa Roach is the only one that stands out, there's going to be other things to talk about. There has to be. Thankfully, there is. There were better singles released this week than albums, in my opinion. Unless I haven't listened to the new Flotsam and Jetsam, we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. There's a fucking lot of releases. They're just nothing I've heard of, nor do I want to really dip my toe in necessarily. Right. Maybe if I get bored over the weekend, maybe, but probably no chance of that, judging what's going on tomorrow on a UFC card. But
there happens to be a fight on tomorrow.
We'll get to that as well. Anyway, it's the Mead Metal MMA podcast where we get together and fucking sometimes talk about those three subjects on occasion.
Occasionally, we get to talk about all three ad nauseum.
Sometimes.
Lately, it's been kind of hot on one and cold, and then hot on the other and cold on the other.
A little bit. But nonetheless, though, we'll get into the Mead front and stuff like that. We're kind of absolutely a little behind where we had said we were going to be. So, oh well.
Yeah.
But as always,
not. Yeah, right. It's
sorry about that. I got
these motherfuckers.
As soon as you hit the record button, that's when like suddenly the comms link opens.
See, that's
up,
why I'm glad I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Like I'm here with half of them already.
I don't either. So until Friday night rolls around, and then
that's right. Then we all got pals.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, how was your week? I mean, now that you're a new vehicle owner and all that fun shit.
Yeah, that wrapped up Saturday. That's right, because I bitched about it Friday.
Yeah.
All wrapped up. I'm in the system.
I'm trying to remember where we'd kind of left things last week because you'd had a really horrible experience with a GMC Acadia.
Yeah.
But your plan, I don't know if we talked about it on the show or not, was to go to a different dealership and talk
car
to them
dealership
on Saturday.
B.
Yeah. And which turned out being a fucking like a champ, apparently.
Yeah, I had that shit wrapped up that day. Still a little tedious, and the guy trying to sell me on the extended warranty was a little aggressive.
They're all going to do that.
Yeah, a little aggressive, a little bit of a fearmonger.
Yeah,
I get it.
Like, oh, you get out on this thing and break it down.
But when you're that guy who knows that what he's doing, and you hear it's like, God, this is what you do to the elderly, don't you? You motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean that's when they're selling used cars. They say the big selling point then becomes the warranty, and that's all just gravy,
right? Yeah, and then it's just like, well, wait, what kind of fucking vehicle are you selling me here?
Right.
That I need to spend more money to make sure it works. Didn't you guys check it out? Are you guys selling me a fully functional vehicle?
Well, let me ask you this. You're a guy that likes to go to Vegas.
I do.
When you're hitting the blackjack table, do you pay insurance all the time when there's an ace shown on the dealer's hand?
If it is like multi-deck blackjack, absolutely not.
Right.
If it's
single
deck,
you usually have 5 in the shoe at a minimum, if not 10, right?
There's quite a bit. It just depends on where they put that card, because
right.
when they hit that card in the boot, it's time for a new boot. On single deck, it just all depends.
Right. Well, because then you can count. But,
because if you don't see any aces out, and you got like a full table of 5 people, Maybe, but you're still just betting to break even, and that's never the wisest thing to do in Vegas. Right. Just take your loss and move on.
You're betting to not lose, and I hate that approach, and I think it's the same way with used cars.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're betting right. It doesn't matter if you're betting $10 or $100.
Yeah.
But that's done. All I got to do is license the thing. That's the last great thing I have to do is license it.
Well, they should be handling that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. I think that's why you pay tax, title, license. They handle all that. So
I don't know. I might have to go back down and talk to Joe down at car dealership B.
Yeah. Well, because no sense in doing redundant work if they're already taking care of that.
Right. I don't want to pay tax, title, license twice.
Yeah.
So that was good. That's all done. Work was interesting. We had a meeting today.
Oh.
Yeah. And
we have said all you people are all fucking up.
Kinda. Except me, of course, because I'm perfect.
Of course.
So it was all about the meat of it was about some reviews we've gotten recently.
Okay.
Now, one review we got was this woman, and I remember this woman well. I dealt with her personally. She was disabled, like
deaf.
No. That's a different one. I don't even know if I had the time to mention her last week.
I don't. Did you?
I can't remember.
It was either on the podcast or not.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned her to you.
Yeah.
So she's driving this bus for schools, like some tournament in town.
Okay.
And she needed a room nearby a door because she can barely walk. She can, but she's not making any steps. That's for sure.
Sure.
And she arrived when I was working. She came in and opened the door for her, very kind, because I always am. I have no reason to be a dick to these people. And she had said that she had been given a room in the middle of the hallway, and she asked if she could have a room closer to the exit, which we had the room right by the exit. It's just people rarely want that because you can hear that door open and close all day.
Want a little closer to the Mervs.
That's right, I guess. So I said, yeah, absolutely. And got her all set up and asked her if she needed any help or anything like that. So I told her, said, I can't drive a bus, but, if you have any bags or anything, I can go ahead and take them to your room and you can park your bus and they'll be in there waiting.
Holy shit, you're give full service.
Well, when people...
4 Seasons.
Because I had a notion that this poor woman had been fucked by somebody at the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Because why give her a room right in the middle of the hall when we have one clearly available at the back? So... She
is
wrote
that shit purely up to you guys. Like, I'm going to assign you that one.
It is at discretion. You don't want to have everybody clustered together clearly, but you don't want everybody on its separate ends either. You got to keep it kind of relatively spaced out. But as far as floor preference, that's we usually give that to the guest. We don't have top or bottom floor unless we don't have that ability to give them that option. It's like, look,
I don't know I've ever been offered a floor, but
well, I'm a better guy. Clearly,
I only stay usually at the goddamn, what is that, the Marriott, I think?
Damn, they should be way better to you over there.
No, this is fucking one in Albuquerque. This thing's built in the 70s. I feel like I need to be wearing a lot of tweed, when I go
right. I like that. I like that dress code. So she wrote a review and had mentioned that one of the girls there it didn't help her at all. Actually, it almost seemed like she went out of her way to not help her.
Did she use the C word in the review?
No, she was actually. This woman was genuinely hurt.
Oh my!
Yeah, she was like, I'm not trying to get a refund or anything like that. I'm just worried that if this girl treated me this way, that she's treated others this way and may treat more this way. It was like a domestic violence thing,
Yeah. Well, thank heavens it's not like the normal thing in society you see nowadays. I want that person fired.
However, she did mention that the gentleman that worked nights was very courteous and helped her out.
Oh, good.
Of course, if she had mentioned me by name, I'd have gotten $50.
God damn it.
That's
really?
why I was like, damn it. She said, but I was like, she said gentleman. I'm the only dude that works here. That's me.
Yeah.
So that was, it was, and I knew who it was, I can look around while she's reading because I know none of these are about me,
right?
Unless it's good. Then I want to make sure everybody's looking at me when it's said.
Take that, you bunch of fucking
heathens. That's right. So then one was read, and I knew exactly because I think I bitched about this on the podcast. Someone said when I came to check in, the lobby smelled of marijuana and cigarette smoke. Now, I know what everybody's thinking right now, right off the bat.
Knock it off, man.
And I'll admit, the hairs on my neck kind of went up a little bit. I was like, oh, shit, what? But I felt like this would have been mentioned to me, and I probably would have been given my walking papers.
Sure.
But that's not how this place is, clearly. Because
you got a medical card, but I don't think you're supposed to be using that shit on the job.
Yeah, no. And when I do, it's outside.
Right.
I don't smoke inside because I'm a goddamn gentleman. That I really only use it if I know we're going to be really busy and I know it's going to be super stressful.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that's usually 4 hours before I even see my first guest in the morning. So they always get, and believe me, if a guest thought I was high and doing my job, they would let people know about it because people are more inclined to tell you about what you're doing wrong than what you're doing right.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And if they think that you're under the influence of anything, booze or fucking whatever,
sure,
they are going to fucking let everybody in a zip code know.
Damn right, and especially the ones that pay your checks.
Right.
So she goes through this whole thing, and I know immediately who it is. We all know who it is because there's only one person that's ever stunk up the place like that.
It's that one chick, right?
Yeah, same girl.
Same one that stayed there for like New Year's Eve, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
One and the very same. Yeah. It was so clearly we all knew who it was.
And let me ask you, would you stay at your own fucking hotel if you had like days off or something like that? You needed a place to stay
at a hotel. It would be nice to know if it was an emergency, like say I had something going on at my house so that I need to be out of it for a day or two, then fine. But is for leisure or recreation or because I'm not responsible and can't pay my own bills, fuck that. No way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live at my job.
It seems like that would be a weird fucking thing.
It's depressing. I've stayed at hotels I've worked at, and it's depressing. The one I worked at in upstate New York, I stayed there for 3 days before I flew out of Albany to head back here. It's depressing, even when you're not working there. I worked there for 4 years off and on. It's fucking depressing.
See, it's the same thing. I mean, I've got a normal layman's job, and I'm there from like 5 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. Man, if I have to go in like at night or something, it feels fucking weird. It feels like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Like you don't belong there.
Yeah, and it's got to feel the same if you have to stay in a place you fucking work at if you're in the service industry.
I don't even feel right when I'm there in the daytime. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right.
Being there today for this meeting is just felt. I saw all the housekeepers. And
you probably don't even see them, yeah?
No, I used to see them all the time because they would come in at 8, and that was when I'd work till 8 from like midnight to 8 o'clock.
Right.
So I used to see them all the time. But the beauty is they hate everybody.
Yeah.
Sure. The housekeepers hate everybody that works front desk except me. 1, because they don't see me, and 2, because when they do see me, I'm really, really nice. Because like the head housekeeper, she fucking hates everybody, dude.
Sure, man.
Because no one does anything right except for me. Because when I first started there, she showed me how she wanted laundry done.
Right.
And I was like, you got it, because this is for you guys.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do it the way you want it done, so do it my own shitty way and have to have you guys do it again.
Come on, you're an asshole if you fucking...
Exactly.
No, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah. You could be like asshole that used to be late on me all the time, but that guy's now in jail.
You've talked about that dude, yeah?
No, I found out about this Wednesday.
No, but he's the one that was like forever
the one that forever
Sundays.
fucking late.
Yeah.
Forever fucking late.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to work Sundays anymore. I moved to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And he's now in jail.
He's now incarcerated. And I think he's still down there because what he did, I think, carries a little bit of a price tag as far as bond goes. It
apparently decided to become like a fancy New York City financier minus the backing.
I'd love to know where this cat worked after the hotel.
Yeah.
I initially thought it was because of the hotel. By the way, it was for embezzlement between $2,500 and $25,000.
Lordy.
Larceny and something else.
Yeah.
This is, by the way,
I could find out, but I don't want to.
Oh yeah, no. I looked. I checked it out. I printed out the paper so I could show my boss because I wanted to be like, hey, did this guy rob us? And now we're taking him to court. Why the fuck didn't you tell me about this? And why did we keep him on that long?
Right.
She's like, oh no, that wasn't us. But damn, I'm glad we fired him when we did.
There's always that, isn't it? As a fucking employer's like, oh, thank God we didn't have him in our employ. Yeah, like, maybe you shouldn't.
You missed it by that much.
Yeah.
That's the thing. What about next time? It sounded like that goddamn extended warranty salesman. What about next time?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! But yeah, that dude's in some poo-poo, and he's only 25.
So the meeting apparently sounded like a little bit of a toot your horn, but not $50 worth. And,
but the funny thing was, everybody was sucking my dick too. And I know it sounds really horrible that I work with all women.
You didn't mean that like
no.
right?
I mean totally figuratively. Everybody was talking about how nice I am. Like after the reading of the shitty reviews. I'm glad you laughed as hard because I feel the same way. Like, yeah, there are always good reviews about you. I never hear anything bad about Brandon from guests. I'm like, yeah, that's because I do my job. It's not because I'm nice.
Right.
I'm a great liar when it comes to being nice. I can be nice right to your face. And if you haven't known me at least 6 months, you'll never know. You'll never fucking know.
That's why you're really kind of made for that line of work.
Yeah.
If you got to just bullshit people like right to their face, well, fuck, you could be selling extended warranties if you had to, but you work in a whole different service industry. So.
But I could get an old elderly person to buy an extended warranty not based off fear, based off science. And I mean, shit, I know at the end of the day I'm still going to get my nut regardless.
Yeah.
But
I mean, God, when you buy a used vehicle, I mean, you got what, 60 or 90 days, right?
90 days.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, so that's what they're basically saying is that they're trying to give you like, hey, day 91, this fucking thing might shit its engine or something of that nature. Man, if it's going to run pretty solid for 90 days, you'll find out if it's a limit or not. I'm not saying that nothing will go wrong, but I'm saying,
but that window, that's when it'll happen,
right?
So
it's the same shit when you like buy a goddamn computer, a laptop or a tablet or whatever from Walmart. Hey, do you want the extra warranty? No, because if it fucking functions for the first like 30 days, it's going to function right the rest of the time.
And also depending on if you're an idiot and don't take care of your shit. No. I mean, all my laptops my last laptop lasted 7 years.
I had a friend of mine in Albuquerque tell me, he said, when it comes to shit, because he was like something about like, oh, I'm getting bored of watching porn and eating Cheetos or some shit. I was like, God damn! I said, well, I said, man, you work in the IT industry, aren't you really exposing yourself to some danger? He goes, no. He said, always stream, never download. So if you're going to walk away learning anything today, that's what it is. If you're like at some questionable websites that involve, I don't know, a lot of titties, stream, don't download.
Yeah, if you're downloading porn anymore, you better have been downloading porn back in like 2004 as well. Yeah. Like the years of LimeWire and Kazan, shit like that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm certain LimeWire killed one of my fucking PCs.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. Because they would just label shit. It could have been a totally different file format than what it was leading on to be.
Right.
And as soon as that shit's done and on your hard drive, then your hard drive is done.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days. The good old days.
Well, because they were all DLL extensions and shit like that. You know, so I mean, in trying to thread through those, knowing which ones are legit that should be there and the ones that shouldn't, back in those days, fuck, who knows?
Impossible. You know? Fucking impossible, unless you were just up on your game.
Yeah.
Like that was your life.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go as far as fucking updating registry files manually if I have to. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I fucking go.
Yeah, and I will have a step-by-step on how to do it, like, right there.
Yeah.
So I can be like, okay. Because you don't get a lot of chances to redo fuck-ups on your registry.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Wow, turn into nerds, man.
God damn.
Enough of this pussy bullshit.
What's wrong with us? Yeah.
Let's talk about some meat, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still running the White Shadow Ranch batch. You know, it's a dupe batch that we did for for those guys that we cranked out last month. So we're looking at a release by maybe St. Patrick's Day, but probably later. Yeah, matter of fact, I think probably between St. Patrick's Day and Tax Day. That's probably a safe estimate.
It's a great window.
Well, it's about a 28-day window, but yeah. So for those of you saying, hey, but what about you guys starting that one batch? Well, you know what? My plan was to actually buy the honey today and get ready for it and everything else. My problem is I broke a goddamn toe yesterday, so my mobility slightly hampered a little bit.
Oh, a little bit. How's that thing doing today, man?
It's still limping along, but better than yesterday. But swollen fucking toes taking up a lot of real estate in the end of my boot. But
still certified brake, yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, it's black and purple, dude. I mean, you don't. Maybe a really good jam might do that, but fuck no. I knew as soon as it happened.
Yeah, pinky toes are legitimately pretty resilient when it comes to surface pain or like damage, unless you broke it.
Yeah.
Then you'll start seeing, or you fucking turn your ankle fucking 120 degrees the wrong way, and there's just blood pooling at the bottom of your foot.
Well, the long story short on the whole fucking thing is because I'm getting ready for work, so it's like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, something like that. I let the dog out, and I have a dachshund, a wiener dog that has a hatred of cats. It's
which is funny because he lives with one.
Yeah. He tolerates the one that lives here in the house, the one in the house.
Yeah.
The other ones that are outside that are half feral, he's got a problem with them. I mean, a hatred that really probably only gets approached by like white guys in their 70s and 80s, toward people that are not white. I mean,
right.
That's his level of contempt for outside cats.
It's a real hatred.
Yeah,
and it has an old hatred to it. Really, he's had it in another lifetime, and he's brought it over into this one.
Yeah. So what happens? I let him out in the morning because he's not going to get let out again for 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. So I put him out. I come back in to get ready to get some other shit lined out so I can get my happy ass to work, and I hear that son of a bitch just throwing a fit outside, but a muffled fit, like he got a hold of something. I thought, oh, surely not a fucking cat. I thought, it's probably a fucking cat. That's all it can be. I go running directly to the door to yell at him to knock it off. And he's mauling the fuck out of a cat.
Ah, shit.
Right on the porch, right out in front of the door. I go running up to throw the door open to yell at him, tell him to get his ass in the house. Right when I do, I clip that fucking tiny outboard toe on the fucking door, and and I heard it just, and I thought, oh, fuck me, that's a broken toe. And I finally got his dumb ass inside, but I've broken enough toes. I'm an old goddamn salt at this shit now.
Yeah.
You know what I need to do? I need to hurry up and get my sock and shoe on, because otherwise that shit ain't going to be going on, if I wait around any length of time. And I'm talking about even just minutes.
Sure. Oh, yeah, it's immediate.
I kind of ran, all the way back, pulled a sock on as fast as I could, got my foot shot straight in as fast as I could.
Fuck.
Fast as I could. And I'm already lacing it, and at that point, it already starts going, oh, this is a crowded neighborhood in the toe of this boot,
It's real warm in here. Anybody realize how warm it is in here?
So I tied that bastard down, and then nonchalantly threw on my other sock and shoe. But but I was just fucking walking like I'd had,
oh God, man!
It's a small toe. It's the tiniest toe on the goddamn foot. But I'm walking around like I got a fucking, I caught some frags in it or some shit like that, or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so I get through the day. I get home, and I get off like relatively like 1:30, something like that. I'm home and I'm sitting around. I put it off till 4:30 in the afternoon. I go, I'm going to have a look, I think, knowing I should have probably had a look even sooner, but it's not going to benefit me because I can't put ice on it and fix it.
And you kind of already knew.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I go and pull it off and oh, there it is, black and purple. Yeah, hey, guess what? I know what this is because it's happened before.
Dude, any type of foot injury is like that, especially like one that can happen when you're still maybe wearing shoes or something. Like when I annihilated my ankle the next day, I wore my shoe the whole day because I didn't know if I was going to be, I knew I'd be able to get it off. I didn't know if I'd be able to put it back on for another 3 weeks.
Thing. I mean, I thought, well, I can go to work like a fucking hippie and wear flip-flops. Sure, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
But then it's even more exposed,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fucking deal with that. But thankfully, I was able to get, with a little bit of effort, get my foot in a fucking shoe again today.
Good deal. Oh, man, I hate that's the worst, too.
Yeah.
Because it's still, shit. Fuck that noise, man.
It's fine. So, the dog's fine. The cat's fine. I'm not completely fucking fine. But
that's usually how it is when it comes to all the animals should be fine. You should be the one that's hurting.
Pretty much, and that's the way it is. So,
but I didn't even think to ask that. Cat's all right?
Yeah, he's still around. It's fucking just Tomas.
How the fuck did he catch him?
I think the cat, for some reason, thought he must have came back in. Because, actually, I did. I went out and I kind of jiggled the handle and opened the door a little because he was down fucking off in the yard. That's what I do to make him hurry up. I think the cat might have thought, oh, that cocksucker must have went back inside. Time for me to hop back up and go to the warm doghouse with the big fat blind dog that's kind of like laying in there, providing body heat. And I think he did. I think he got up there thinking that Miles came back in. He wasn't. No.
Oh, God.
Miles got a hold of him and was tearing him a new one.
All that progress that was made to make him kind of just like tolerable of your presence is done.
Yeah. Now,
I know he won't think it was you, but he's just not going to trust anything now.
Well, having said that, oddly enough, they're pretty resilient because now because I'm down to like 2 of those little half-feral cats, Tomas and Winston.
Out of the 5?
Out of the 5, yeah.
Wow. So hopefully they just moved on.
I haven't seen Frank in a long time.
Yeah, fucking Frank, was he the first to go?
Not really, because the 5th one, the unnamed beetle, was I never got a chance to name him. He kind of disappeared early in the process, but because people see my neighbors around here like to shoot cats, because apparently they love assholes. Mice. Apparently they love they're killing all the pretty mice. You
got to keep them fucking rodents nearby.
I don't think they're actually saying that, but these fucking rednecks that's probably what.
Sure, dude, they fucking aim for them when they're driving.
Yeah. So the first one, he was
dicks
gone. He was gone like shit, like a year ago almost. But then, Frank, I haven't seen in about a month and a half, probably.
Yeah.
BP, I haven't seen in about a month. Short for big pussy.
The big one.
He was the biggest cat. Fucking anything would scare the bejesus out of that cat. Anything. So I'm left with actually the 2 coolest ones, Tomas and fucking
the survivors,
Winston.
basically.
And those 2 cats are all right. They're not. I couldn't approach them and pet them, but they're kind of okay.
Yeah, and they know what you do.
Yeah,
they know what you do, but they also know who else lives here.
Like, keep that goddamn dog inside. Hey, we're cool in the gang. So
we will not run off if we see you.
But to really kind of bring it full circle, that's why we didn't, get the makings to start a batch yet, this weekend, because I ain't fucking wandering all the way into fucking Walmart from their parking lot, all the way inside, all the way to the back, where they actually carry the wildflower honey I'm looking for.
Right.
And then all the way back. Fuck that. I mean, and I'm certainly not going to ride around on one of the little goddamn little cars.
You had the opportunity to do it. You didn't take it.
Nope.
You could have become one of the populace around here.
I have a thing that's called pride. That's what it is.
Yes. Yes, you will die for your foolish pride.
As Ving Rhames had said in Pulp Fiction, you're going to feel a little tingle. That's just pride fucking with you, son. You know what? Fuck pride. That's what he said. But it didn't wash well enough for me to ride one of those little scooters around Walmart. So
yeah, I'd have done it. But I would have done it boisterously.
Well, I think you have to. If you are, I think you have to.
I would have dressed up for the occasion.
I think you legit have to wear like John Stockton short shorts, kind of let a ball hang out. Right along. How you doing, ladies?
Oh, don't mind that. That's just my ball. I only got the one, you see.
Yeah. Or unless you're up for bragging, like, that Lance Armstrong got one. I'm rocking the dose.
I happen to have both of them.
You just call me Dos Testes.
Don't drink the beer, though. The balls is where it's at.
So, anyway, so that's why we don't have...
Yeah, we were busy. Kevin broke his toe,
Kind of fucked up the whole process. So,
yeah.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Can't say that we didn't get a good story out of it, though.
Well... Unfortunately, if it involves a great deal of fucking pain for me, there's probably going to be a story.
Well, at least it happened and no one was here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, animals, but
but they don't give a fuck about you. Clearly,
true. Yeah. No, because that little fucking little goddamn dachshund was like, all right, I'm ready to go back to bed, boss. What are you bitching about?
Yeah. I mean, how are you supposed to fucking stomp on your pedals now, dude?
That was actually kind of fucking with me last night.
I saw, it was a wobbly little situation.
We were kind of digging for tone last night, and by that point, I was wearing goddamn flip-flops.
That was a pretty fun little journey, by the way.
Yeah, the pedal situation is, it's interesting. I don't have a lot of pedals. My brother Daryl's got a fucking, like a bowling alley worth of pedals. Yeah. But I've got a couple of analog pedals from MXR, which we use the chorus all the time. The Dynacomp, I'm still trying to find its place in the world. It It doesn't really fit in my chain. It might fit in yours, perhaps.
It does have some, after you explained to me everything it did,
Yeah.
it does provide a little bit of amplification to the low-end crunch.
When you, it's only got 2 dials on it. If you go 12 o'clock on it, it's a worthless pedal. But if you're going to go ahead and ramp that bastard up to the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock position on output, that's where it'll bring up your gain. You got to kind of mind the sensitivity a little bit because that's the other one. But boiling through that orange head that you have, it might have a home, maybe.
Yeah, well, I'll have to tinker with it a little more.
Yeah,
because
I think it pulls down some of the good things it does. It also hampers the same out of the head, because the head's one to go pretty high gain, depending on where it's set.
Oh yeah, well that gain on the crush, you set it to, gosh, probably 2 o'clock, maybe.
It was after high noon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shredding. It is crunchy. It sounds disgusting. It's great.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I found. Like fucking left dial here, fucking middle one right down the borderline there.
The Dynacomp, you have to actually kind of turn some things around a little bit, though.
You got to tweak with that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
by the way, folks, I learned about pedals all the goddamn time. I don't know shit about them.
Well,
So big process yesterday was kind of also like learning like exactly what the fuck it is these things do. Because I know what kind of sound I like and what I would want, but I don't know how to say like, well, would this do that or would this do that? I mean,
right.
That goddamn Friedman.
Yeah, that
sounded
BE
pretty good.
overdrive is it's kind of a madman.
Yeah,
in a
the
lot of
light
ways.
is green, the trap is clean, my friend. That thing sounded kick ass. It made Unforgiven sound incredible on that fucking ESP.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing. And Dave Friedman himself went in and provided the voicing. Basically, the green channel, which is the lead channel, is basically because it's a deluxe is what I have. So it's a 2-channel operation. That top channel is the lead channel. That's the green. The blue channel is more of a rhythm, and that's what sets apart the deluxe from the original BEOD.
Okay.
Is that it throws in that channel. So that way I can kind of match you in some volumes and things like that, and then when we really get into cranking on some stuff, I can fucking lay it into that channel.
I see.
And it puts me above. Otherwise, I'd get buried by your tone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the whole purpose of that is. You'd asked me before if we wanted to revisit doing that Cure cover. I didn't at the time because I wasn't going to be able to offer anything extra. I kind of do now because now there's a way for me to make a very distinctive difference.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
first
shit,
cut to this.
we have a lot of things that sound really different now.
Mm-hmm.
It might not hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Even to just do it for shits.
yeah, probably. I mean, maybe something that we only
Because we have the drum track.
Yeah.
So we really, we have what we need to play along to.
Yeah, I mean, I am feeling the kind of the itch to like let's get some shit done, before we kind of start losing our wintertime fucking spirit.
Right.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah. So last night was a really fun night of kind of tooling around with a lot of that.
That was kick ass.
But again, really, I mean, a chorus, a compressor, and an overdrive. I mean, we got the Mel 9, but we didn't break that out last night. There was really no reason to.
No, I don't really think that's something I could truly utilize.
Well, it's a single tasker, for sure.
Right.
But
like for what it does, I don't think how I like play. I don't know if I have the nuance to really make it do what I want it to do. Where you do.
Well, but then again, that's also kind of the thought-provoking thing is like, wait a minute, if I actually dial something back here, and maybe utilize a different kind of a technique to the approach that I'm doing with my right hand on the guitar, then it opens up the floodgates for a lot of other fucking variety.
Right.
And that's the reality, I think, with a pedal like the Mel 9 or any pedal for that matter. Any pedal will have an optimal kind of a thing that it does, but you have to adjust your playing in order to incorporate that.
Absolutely.
Or utilize that pedal to kind of give you a little bit of a bump on what it is you do that you think you do very well, and it kind of supports that. I mean, That's the other take too. I mean, because pedals are where it's at, man. Right? it's weird because what's old is new again. In the 70s, MXR and Dunlap, all of that really, really kind of set the standard for this is what you want to do. And I mean, and clearly, you'd had Electro Harmonics, which I wasn't a fan of theirs at the time, but Boss, DOD, all of these pedals, all the way into the 80s, set the standard for what a tone is. Really is, and then that means then you're plugging through an amp, through a head that's running through your cabinets, but you're relying heavily on that pedal. Well, things started getting a little bit smarter in the 90s and into the 2000s, where really your amplifier became the source of your real tone, and all a pedal was something to accentuate that. Well, the pedals are kind of coming back in a kind of a big way, because that Friedman pedal is really, it's a preamp. That's the other thing with the Deluxe of what it actually offers. It's a preamp that establishes the signal that you send, the dry signal, to your amp. And so, therefore, it's an overdrive pedal. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely it is. But it's also a preamp. And it's going to send a shitload of gain and dump it directly in to your clean channel on your amp. And it will dictate what you're doing. Look, I love the fucking distortion I get off that Marshall I've got. But I like the Friedman a little more in some ways, in a lot of ways. But if I don't, that's cool. It's got a natural bypass, and I can set up the fucking gain for that Marshall to, if I'm wanting just a pure,
just something filthy,
pure filthy fucking sound, I can do that. So it's almost like the Friedman pedal, that overdrive pedal, has pushed me from having 2 channels on a Marshall amp to having 4 channels. 2 through a Friedman, 2 through the amp itself if I'm in bypass. It's not bad. Now, granted, I will say this, is it's really more like 3 channels, because I'm not going to play anything through that clean channel that I have reserved for the fucking Friedman. So it's more like a 3-channel setup. But anyway, did we get nerdy enough for you?
Dude, well, when it comes to shit like this, I love to just let you go, because I'm learning more about it. So I'm almost becoming a listener.
Yeah, well, I mean, but there are a lot of things, a lot of variables out there. We kind of hit the sweet spot on that analog chorus that we've got. That MXR really establishes that nice shimmer aftertone. I am still looking for a reverb. I'm wanting a really good reverb.
Yeah, I know. Didn't you say like that?
TC Electronics actually. Is one that Daryl had kind of talked me into. The Hall of Famer is what that one is. Kind of play on words, Hall of Famer, because Hall of Reverb, But actually, the Hall of Famer 2 I'm kind of looking into, because it's not the same guts that are in it. And I know probably somewhere in South Austin or north of Austin, a guy's losing his goddamn mind right now. But hear me out, because the Hall of Famer 2 actually, the bypass button actually it's able to gauge how hard you're pushing on that button before it clicks to go to bypass.
Yeah. And
in the process of that, it creates differences within the reverb. It's almost like an expression pedal on that button. No shit. Yeah. It's very fucking cool.
Wow.
Yeah, TC Electronics Hall of Famer 2. Look it up. I might jump on that. Maybe.
I think TC Electronics, that's where Devin Townsend also has some of his signature pedals
Could
on
be.
as well. That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
So the little goddamn switch.
The little button.
If you slam it.
Then it'll put you into bypass.
But if you just fucking give
a little toe on it, and it's able to determine how much pressure you're putting on it to how much it's going to affect the overall. It's got like 4 different settings on it.
Wow. Holy shit, man, that's gnarly.
Yeah. I'm.
That is really cool. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to get a Strymon, Big Sky, something like that. I'm not made of money. I'm not going to drop $400 on a goddamn reverb pedal. But this one, the Hall of Fame 2 is probably around $149.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That is not bad. But
yeah.
Goddamn, fucking. I just remember buying a fucking pedal from Tarpley's when I was like 13. It was a Boss pedal, because basically you saw a line of like 30 of them. You just tell the guy, I want the one that makes my guitar sound like like Metallica. And they're like, well, here, that's the one you want, $30.
Dude, in the 90s, Boss was where it was at.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
The problem, I think Boss didn't continue.
They didn't evolve, I don't think.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
DOD, 80s. That's an 80s sound. If you're trying to sound like anything out of the 80s, DOD is probably the way to go. I think that they've actually tried to expand a little bit and like kind of incorporate more metal kind of sounds and shit like that to their stuff. I mean, they've always been kind of more of a metal anyway, but it was that 80s metal. If you're trying to get that sound, DOD is where you go. But yeah, I still kind of clamor to the older analog sounds. I mean, that's why I'm kind of a big fan of MXR. I mean, Daryl had asked me, he's like, what the fuck is it with you and EHX? Well, EHX is cranking out great shit. It's just really expensive, and their pedals are usually kind of big.
Right.
You know,
they're like half art piece as well, like the turnip green ones, right?
Yeah.
That's electro harmonics, right?
And I have less reason to get that one now.
Oh, now you got the Friedman. I think you're good.
Yeah, because it was an overdrive combined with a, what was the turnip greens? That was, it was an overdrive with, I want to say it might have been a reverb.
I have no idea.
But I have less use for that now. You know, with that Friedman BEOD pedal, it settled a lot of scores for me.
Cheaper than buying a head, like you said.
Well, that's the thing. I could buy a $3,700 JJ100 Friedman head, and then I got to buy the cabins. I'm looking at about $5,000, or I don't know, about $250. You know, $260.
I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, at a minimum. Fucking dudes at Sweetwater like, hey, you sure you don't want to come to work for us? Because that kind of justification can get somebody to buy some gear. Maybe.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay me extra for the Fort Wayne weathers, but yeah.
Right.
I don't live that fucking far in northern Indiana, that close to fucking Ohio, but yeah.
Oh, man. Well, shit, we better get to music releases, of which there are none but Papa Roach, as we discussed.
Well, let's go ahead.
There's really only one song I'd care to discuss.
Well, I kind of want to go through.
Unless you got something.
I kind of want to run through and get your response to.
Am I on the record?
Some of the ones that are out here. Well, because actually you have interesting little bit shit here and there on a couple of these.
I got some pretty interesting shit.
Okay, so on this, I'm going to go through the whole list because it's a huge release day. It's just nothing you probably ever heard of with the exception of about 3 acts. So I'm going to go through and you tell me next. Or give me a comment.
All right.
Altitudes and Attitude.
Next.
Arch Enemy.
I'm not a big fan of theirs anymore these days. I'm going to get into that next week, though. But, yeah, I don't give a fuck about Arch Enemy anymore.
Because their
former lead singer, now manager, is a bad person. No. I was about to release some serious shit. I was like, nah, she's bad. She's really bad.
Hold it back. Cane Hill.
Next.
Carrion Mother.
That sounds familiar, but...
They're a grindcore, I think.
Next.
Dust Bolt.
Sounds like doom or grunge or
maybe
sludge.
Well, but it's on Napalm, so...
Oh, shit. Okay. It's probably something a little gnarly
lively, then.
Yeah, next.
Let's see. Ecto Void.
Sounds cool, but...
They're on Blood Harvest label, so clearly another fucking grind. Well, they're going to be really... Or
is that primarily a grindcore label?
Yeah, I mean, if Napalm isn't fucking, they take it to the next level.
Yeah,
let's see, Epitemia. That's a German band. They're on the Nocturmacht label.
That's great. Next,
the Fever 333.
Next,
let's see, Flotsam and Jetsam.
I am familiar with Flotsam and Jetsam. I didn't realize they were still churning out music, but that's cool.
Magnum, not just a condom anymore, but live at the Symphony Hall. Yeah,
that's good to know. Magnum played at the Symphony Hall. Next,
another one off of Napalm, by the way, and they're Oomph with an exclamation point.
I'm already done.
Yeah, I do want to check this one out after the show's over. Maybe this might be worth listening to, maybe not. A Pale Horse Named Death.
Okay. I will log that. We happen to have a log book here.
All right. Papa Roach, Who Do You Trust on the 11-7 label?
Oh, God. I mean, it's Papa Roach, so it shouldn't be that shocking that it is what it is. I didn't think they could make Papa Roach more radio-friendly and poppier, but they did it.
They're very Nickelbackish.
Whatever happened to cutting their cakes into pieces? Not their cakes, their lives. Cutting their lives into pieces. Cutting their cakes into pieces. This is their last dessert.
Raven.
What's the name of that band? Pale Horse Named Death?
A Pale Horse Named Death, yeah.
I just wanted to Write it down our log.
Good. Raven put out an album called Screaming Murder Death from Above, live from Aalborg.
I was going to say next, but there's a little bit of trivia behind Raven.
Really?
They played here in this very city.
Get the fuck out, really? Proving that anybody will play here.
Back in 1980, late 82, early 83, and their opener was Metallica.
How old are these fucking dudes then?
Very old. Because Metallica opened for their ass and they were 19.
So here's one I've actually heard of, and probably I'm not proud of it, but Switchfoot. It's got out. They released an album by the name of Native Tongue.
Next.
The Three Tremors. Kind of clever. I don't know that I'll care for it.
But they need to have something before that, like fucking the Baroness and the Three Trimeters, something like Trimeters.
Well, because the play on the Three Tenors.
Oh, now I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of clever, but kind of not, maybe. All right. Now, a whole bunch of one-word name bands that I've never heard of.
All right, go rapid fire in this shit.
Thunder.
Next.
Torque.
Next.
Trollfest.
I heard of them, but fuck them. Next.
Worms, because it's got 2 O's.
I feel like I'm in a weird fucking trip right now. Next.
All one word. Wrist beat razor.
Appreciate their candor, but next.
And Zed.
Well, it's appropriate to end with Zed.
Zed's dead, baby.
And, this week's metal releases is also dead to me.
There you go. So, do you have anything to look forward to next week? Is there something that will make your week? It will. It will. And we're going to close out with one of theirs. It's actually already out on single, but I'll make you stick around for the very end for that.
That's right. Wait.
On top of that, Joe Satriani putting out a box set next week.
Some kick-ass bated breath.
King Diamond with a new release next week.
Yes! I love that guy's singing style. Happy fucking birthday to Janis Joplin.
Hey, Janice.
Happy fucking birthday to Dolly Parton.
All right.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I get
Still rocking it after all these years. Got to respect where respect is due. She is a goddamn carnival act.
Yeah. That's been a lot of. There's been a lot of doctors, let's just say, that have really been able to afford some houseboats and fucking things like that. Yeah.
Happy birthday, even though he's dead, Robert Palmer. Damn, that one still hurts, man, even after all this time. Happy birthday to Francis Buchholz from Scorpions.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Rod Evans, early member of Deep Purple. He was on Hush.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On the 1969 album Shades of Deep Purple. And lastly, happy birthday to Mickey Virtue, the keyboard player of UB40, wise men say, in a weird Jamaican accent from a ginger guy that only fools rush in.
UB40. Wow.
My grandfather.
Red wine, isn't that their shit?
Yeah, red wine's their shit, but they also did the Elvis song. Here's the funny thing. After my grandfather had passed away.
Okay.
After my grandfather passed away, you go through their things because you kind of have to do that. And I let my grandmother deal with the stuff in the house. I dealt with stuff outside in the shop. And I was digging through his file cabinet. And after I found a lot of Airheads, so many fucking Airheads. I found a couple of cassette tapes. And I was like, God damn. How do we even have the technology to play cassettes anymore? Well, it turns out my pickup still had a cassette tech in it. So I grabbed this tape, slide it into the tape deck, and am blown away to find out that my grandfather has the best of UB40 on cassette. All because covered
Elvis.
Whatever, I Can't Help Fall in Love with You.
Yeah.
Wise Men Say. Was Unchained Melody?
I got to say this. There is worse shit to listen to than UB40.
It is, yeah, they're fun. They're fun how, like, Real Big Fish is fun.
Right.
You know? I will never go listen to Real Big Fish or UB40 for that matter if I'm feeling deep and, like, needing something to, fucking really bring some shit out. But if I'm wanting to have a good time, you bet your sweet ass I'll listen to UB40 and I will listen to Real Big Fish.
Cool, man. Well, anything else we got going on for the metal side? We got a pretty big card we need to probably get to.
I think we're ready to move on.
Gotcha.
Josh LaCour is back.
Hey, Josh Licker.
Good old Josh Licker's returned to us.
Thanks for your service, and
indeed,
hope all things overseas were really good, because I guess he's back from deployment. So welcome back to CONUS.
Indeed, yeah. I was a little worried because I kind of went incommunicado there for a little bit,
right.
But thanks for letting us know you're back, man.
Hell yeah. See. And you people get a shout out if you get fucking interactive on the comments right here on the YouTube page, and we'll interact with you. So.
That's right. We're all about love here.
Josh figured that out a long time ago.
That's
Many
right.
people still dragging their heels. So.
You people. Shit.
Let's get to UFC Fight Night, but the only reason it's big is because it's the first UFC card on ESPN.
Very true. Before that, I do want to get your opinion. New belt. Love it or hate it?
Hate it.
I fucking hate it, dude.
Looks like some shit that they were trying to put together for some WWE shit. They're calling it the UFC Legacy.
The
Legacy belt.
Because every champion, it'll be custom made to them. You know who does that? WWE.
Yeah.
Anytime they have a wrestling champion, the middle part's the same, and I'm guessing that's how it'll be on this one. But the little side plates, those are interchangeable for whoever your champ is at the time. I fucking hate it, man. Less is more when it comes to your title belts.
Again, it's another move by the UFC to fucking really drive a wedge between me and the sport that I kind of like.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big deal. They're doing this for ESPN, and I think they've made it worse.
Well, and then I was watching, so the pre-fight show was on ESPN Plus a while ago, because apparently I have, which is a whole different matter altogether, I have a greater tolerance of being able to put up with fucking hiccups in the stream. Ooh. I have a problem with ESPN Plus. You can't adjust the fucking quality of the video.
That's unacceptable. That is fucking unacceptable.
Every 8 seconds, well, between 5 and 8 seconds, you get it'll hiccup. It'll hiccup.
No.
It'll hiccup.
And if anybody else has experienced this, let us know, because we don't know. We're fairly certain that this is not because we have lackluster internet. Everything else works like a dime piece.
I spent like a solid hour trying to research how do you fix that. You don't.
No, you don't.
What I found out from fucking everybody online, you don't. That's the way that it is. So I've given thought to, do I go ahead and bump up my fucking... I've got a 10 by already. Do I bump it to 100 just to fucking try to compensate
just to watch fight? No, because we were all about saving money after dropping Fight Pass, pick this up and still watch fights. Yeah. Fuck that, man. We have our ways.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of ESPN Plus. But
Bad start.
But you know what was fucking even more fucking kind of crushing was watching Dana White doing a interview with the fucking like Michael Bisping and all the other dicks.
Yeah.
Wearing a fucking ESPN fucking long sleeve fucking t-shirt.
Oh God, he never wore a Fox shirt.
No,
never wore a Fox shirt.
God. You know what?
Why do they have to suck so much dick? Why do they have to do that?
It's ESPN. They think
UFC's established. They are money makers.
I don't know what the length of this contract is. Guarantee you they're going to be shopping it around because ESPN's already shit cannon the thing over to their ESPN Plus.
Yeah. And they brought Karen Byron over. I don't like that move either.
ESPN Plus is carrying the early prelims and the main card. The only thing that's going to be on the fucking worldwide leader itself are the prelims.
That will potentially be on like ESPN2. Because it could be on any of them.
Maybe. I think they're actually going to run it on
if there's shit going on a Saturday on ESPN, they will bump that shit down.
If it's college football season, you can go fuck yourself. If you think that they're going to carry any of that, it's all there. That's what they're doing. They got this agreement with the UFC to drive viewers to ESPN Plus, so they can make money on that. More money, you know.
Well, guess what? Work on your goddamn overall streaming service, and we'll talk.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. So I'm going to try it tomorrow. If it's better than it was today, cool. Well, that's cool. I don't mind throwing them $5 a month. If it sucks ass again, like it did today, we'll
shut her down, man.
We will find other means, and I will
headache.
save my $5.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves. Let's go ahead and move on to that preliminary card, kicking off at 4:30 tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to do early prelims?
Well, there's only one fight on there I kind of want to talk about, and it just had one fighter. Dennis Bermudez is main eventing your ESPN Plus prelim.
Okay.
Dennis, he fought at 145. Now he's fighting at lightweight.
Yeah, okay.
So I think
because he was a fucking flyweight.
Yeah, he was a $145
feather. Yeah.
So with what I have here, T. Edwards doesn't have a weigh-in. I don't know if he had a successful weigh-in or not. But it'll be interesting to see how Dennis Bermudez does at a $155. Moving on to the preliminary card, which, like Kevin said, is going to be on fucking ESPN. It opens up pretty strong. You got a light heavyweight fight between Alonzo Menefield. I thought it was Minefield. And Vinicius Moreira. God damn, there's a lot of tough names on this card tonight, man. But we start getting into the beef of Joanne Calderwood fighting Ariane Lipski, who is known as the Queen of Violence. That's a hell of a nickname.
Yeah, but it's also somebody I've never heard of. Now, granted, she's got 11-3 record.
She is making her debut.
I do think that Calderwood, I think that they're throwing her a bone here and letting her be able to get some of her, because she didn't look great her last couple of times out.
No, she got rocked. But I'd much rather have her like reading me books at night.
Right.
She has such a beautiful voice that's so unassuming to the fact that she's a trained killer, basically, you know. But I like Calderwood in this. When it comes to ladies making their debuts, it's tough for me to back them.
Yeah, and I know why. Because unless they're coming straight out of Invicta, I don't trust it.
And even then, it's still unless you have come from the UFC, dropped down to Invicta, made yourself more badass, and got brought back up.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. It's too hard of a call to know what they're fucking going to be. I mean, if they're on some weird little, network, a regional little promotion out of like somewhere in the Southeast or Pacific Northwest or whatever, and they were dominating there, that's fine. But man, until they have faced UFC grade competition, I don't trust them.
Exactly. Your main event for the preliminary card, which should be your fucking co-main event on ESPN Plus. It's good to see Cowboy Cerrone main eventing on ESPN, though.
Yeah.
Fighting Alexander Hernandez. I saw this dude at weigh-ins. Humongous. I don't know. I know he's 10-1. I know he's young. I know he's ready to murder motherfuckers.
He's a favorite too. Yeah.
Big. I have no doubt. Cerrone, I haven't seen Cerrone make that lightweight cut in a long time. It was kind of shocking to see.
Dude looked pretty good, though.
He looked good, but he still looked gaunt. Everybody looked gaunt at the weigh-ins today, you know?
Everybody made weight, though, yeah.
Everybody did make weight.
But, and ordinarily I would say, well, I don't like Cerrone's chances because the guy kind of got up to welterweight, and he wasn't a very big welterweight. I mean, he's about standard size. Well, he's back down to lightweight where he's actually got a little bit of a little better reach.
Will get those advantages he always had at lightweight, and I think he has a different focus now coming back.
But don't make him mad. Don't poke him with a stick. And that's what. Did
you see that? Yeah, yesterday he was like, "Man, look, I know you're trying. You're young and you're hungry and you're wanting to make money, but I'm in the goddamn hotel room next to you, motherfucker."
I mean, the
dude's angry from cutting weight already.
Don't give him a reason to get even more fired up. Look, fucking ask Platinum Mike Perry.
But really, think Cerrone has a lot to gain and a lot to lose with this fight. This will set the tone for his last run.
Yeah, which a lot of people in his camp seem to think that this is the last run, but they also like his chances, and we'll see. I mean, they aren't throwing him any kind of slack to start.
The Cowboys look good ever since Austin. He did drop one. He dropped one after Austin.
Yeah.
But then he beat Mike Perry's ass, and now we're here at 155 again. I'm pulling for a win.
Right.
Main event. We'll kind of burn through a few of these.
Main card.
Unless main card. Thank you. Carl Robertson fighting Glover Teixeira.
Robertson. Teixeira's a fucking top 15, gatekeeper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Glover's name, his name just carries the weight of the name. I don't think Glover's making any runs. Once upon a time,
that guy used to be really, really something to look at.
Yeah, but they named that Rumble.
Rumble broke him.
And then Gus uppercut him into oblivion. Yeah. This guy he's damaged, man. It's the downhill slope for Glover now. I'm going Carl on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
A fight that has a little bit of controversy behind Rachel Ostovich fighting 12 gauge.
Paige Titties Van Zandt.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be that guy, but her tits are bigger. She's been gone over a year, and her tits got bigger. But
you don't grow them big at 115.
She's 7-4, man. And
actually fighting at actually he's moving up to 125.
125, yeah.
Okay,
that might be one.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Okay, but Rachel Ostovich looks like Miesha Tate at flyweight.
Oh, got my interest.
Except in the face. Yeah, I know. I knew that'd win you over. But, of course, Rachel Ostovich, everybody else seemed to be pissed about Greg Hardy being on the same card as her because she's a victim of domestic violence via an MMA fighter. And if you believe Dana White, she doesn't give a shit. She's said she doesn't give a shit. I'm fairly certain.
Well, she's a fighter. She's a fighter.
I don't think she cares.
I don't think she does.
I think everybody. That's how it is now. Everybody else cares way more than.
If your psyche is such that you can there's something that another fighter appearing on the same card you're on will bother you. Maybe the fight game isn't your business.
Well, it's not. It's because Greg Hardy has whole domestic shit.
Yeah,
behind him but I don't see how it ever affected her.
Exactly.
That might not be a popular stance, but if she's fine with it, then let's move the fuck on.
Fighters have got to be mentally tough. Clearly, I think she's fine with it. The problem is the assholes that are trying to weigh in for her.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm picking Rachel Ostovich in this fight, though.
Oh, are you?
Paige Van Zandt, I don't think her heart's in this game anymore.
A leaky vessel at best.
She is ready to be on The Bachelorette.
Joseph Benavidez and Dustin Ortiz.
I'm going to pick Dustin Ortiz on this one.
Not bad. Benavidez is a fucking veteran of some wars, and I think wars that have really worn him down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude's fought the best at flyweight.
Here's one that's really fun. Gregor Gillespie. Never heard of him. 12-0.
I've heard of Gregor.
Is this his first?
Gregor Gillespie's had, I think, 3 fights.
Well, dude's undefeated, and he's fighting Yancy Medeiros, who, frankly, don't look past him.
No, unless you catch him right on the chin.
Yeah.
Then
you never
watch
know.
him legs go a little off.
Fucking Oliveira, the cowboy Oliveira out of Brazil, fucking thought he had him finished 8 times in that one fight, and the dude came back and fucking beat him.
True. I like Gillespie. I like Gillespie in this one.
I'll take Medeiros just because I kind of like his. For a Hawaiian, I kind of like him.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rare thing for me, but. Who we got next?
Your co-main event of the evening for some reason. Alan Crowder fighting Greg. I know what the reason is. I know why this is your co-main event, because it's Greg fucking Hardy.
Sure.
Making his legitimate UFC debut. Because the guy's fought at the Contender Series. I give him, as far as being an MMA fighter, I give him credit. This guy went out and got his stripes. He did it the right way.
Well, but people will always say, well, he's known for beating up that woman that one time. What's the path to redemption, I wonder, though?
In the eyes of others, there is none.
Oh, okay.
There is no path to redemption in the eyes of other people. There's really not. It's really all about you and how you advance.
Well, look at Louis C.K. That guy's catching shit just for trying to go back to work,
Yeah. Well,
I don't care for his material. I know, because if you're a comedian, if you're a comic, you got to make some fucking outrageous, crazy things in your bit. But that doesn't mean that you're trying to put out a fucking statement to the world. You're trying to make something work.
Yeah, dude. That's what's so sad.
And with Greg Hardy, bad fucking decision by him.
Yeah,
Bad.
I mean, shit.
A couple of bad decisions. But what is the path of redemption? As you'd said, there is none.
There is none in the eyes of others.
Yeah.
There really isn't. He's not going to please anybody. Clearly, he got booed at the ceremonial weigh-ins. However, I am going to pick Greg Hardy in this.
Sure.
This guy is now a UFC fighter.
An athlete.
And he's a first-round knockout artist that we've seen. He's clearly fighting a guy he probably should be fighting on Contender Series as well. So I'm picking Greg Hardy first-round knockout.
I like Greg Hardy's chances of really advancing through the fucking ranks of the heavyweights. I really do. Because that's a fucking sparse division. Even more so with the exit of Mark Hunt.
Yeah, gets a little thick at the top once you hit like Stipe and Derek Lewis and
top 5
Volkov.
Is tough, but dude, that's a straight run to 6.
Getting up there though, he could mow through some motherfuckers. Maybe he might even. I think Tai Tuivasa. You'll see Greg Hardy fighting Tai Tuivasa down the road.
I don't like Tuivasa's chances.
After that last fight, me neither.
And especially let the dude get his feet wet. Let him get in, get real competition, and
great
real
setup
fucking event
on a huge fucking scale.
Stage. Yeah. Let's talk about the main event.
Ooh, man, I don't envision it being anything other than T.J. Dillashaw treating Henry Cejudo like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
I like the fact that people are like, well, he ain't going to have a tank, he ain't going to have the power, he ain't going to have this, he ain't going to have that. Let's be honest with ourselves. Cejudo struggles to make that 125 cut.
Which he did. He came at 124.4.
TJ came in at 124.8, right?
0.6.
Or 6. They both came in under, which they have to be for a championship belt. But I don't know where you get off saying, well, Cejudo makes this cut all the time. Cejudo used to fucking fail this cut all the time.
Now that he's champ, he knows the cut is now officially the most important thing.
But, man, that dude that's working for TJ, that nutritionist / fucking guru guy, Carmiso, I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either.
But the dude is a goddamn genius.
Hey, man, I saw him at the weigh-in. TJ looked great.
I mean, very
he
cut.
Looked
very
goddamn shredded,
Yeah.
man. I don't know if that dude had an ounce of body fat left on his body.
Yeah.
He had abs right below his nipples.
By the way, here's one for you guys.
Damn it. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
Yeah.
As I speak, but thankfully the Jaeger shot glasses are right here.
But the thing is that what this dude is doing with TJ and what's turned everything around, and this dates back because I think he started employing the guy after the Cruz fight. The guy works some fucking crazy magic. He's a fucking aerospace engineer, not a nutritionist, but guess what he does for Dillashaw? And it
worked.
He does things. The recovery phase, everything is fucking really advanced with this. Yeah. You know, and I know that Rogan had said he's wanting to get this guy on his podcast. Well, good fucking luck, because the guy's got a secret that nobody else knows.
Yeah, and he should hold on to it. He's got the game figured out. I mean, Cejudo's going to be the bigger fighter. Cejudo's going to weigh more than Dillashaw, I think.
I don't think so.
You don't think? God, dude, Cejudo's huge. Humongous.
His head is huge.
Actually, his head doesn't look that big compared to his body at weight cut day.
Yeah. However, by a smaller fighter, I think TJ Dillashaw is going to be able to have an advantage in range.
Yeah, and speed.
I'm talking
speed
about
as well.
I'm talking about really important range in the fact of shutting down the takedown.
Right.
Having said that, and Dillashaw is going to look huge, I think, against Cejudo.
I'm curious to see how he looks when he walks out tomorrow night.
I think he's going to look really big.
Yeah.
He's clearly going to have a striker's advantage. Look, if Cejudo was worth his salt, he would have come straight off the Olympics and would have been fucking making piles of money doing other shit.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
He has no charisma to speak of.
None.
And that's not really important to me, but when it's glaringly obvious and you're a champion and you let that weakness show, that you don't have the charisma to be able to talk shit to like someone like TJ, who's had to talk shit the majority of his career.
Dude, I talk shit against fucking Cody Garbrandt, who talks
for like
better
a year
shit
straight.
than anybody.
Yeah,
right.
well, that's because he's a dummy.
Yeah.
That's all that. Yeah, well, your butt stinks, bro. That's Cody Garbrandt shit talk. But at the end of the day, it's all about who's going to be champ. And I think we're going to get another champ.
I think we're going to get Dillashaw by a finish in the second or third.
Yeah, Dillashaw finishes fights.
Yep.
I mean, that's just what he does. I think Cejudo, that tank is going to wane, man. It waned in the Mighty Mouse fight. That's when Mighty Mouse started to shine. In a fight, I felt he won.
Well, and let's call it what it is that fucking Cejudo doesn't have the power, I think, that Dillashaw usually faces. Yeah. And Dillashaw's got power that Cejudo doesn't face. I love Mighty Mouse. Dude fucking doesn't have that.
Dillashaw can deal with wrestlers, man. I'm picking Dillashaw second round. It's going to be a violent finish for Henry. It's going to be reminiscent of that fucking first Mighty Mouse fight.
Yep.
Let's get on to picks. We've been jaw-jacking enough.
God damn it, way too long. All right, drinks, Crown Royal for me tonight.
I'm going to have a little bit here with you, sir. Cheers.
Indeed. Musical picks. God, I got to hand it to Brandon. I hate giving him credit, but
I hate giving me credit too.
Evergrey, they're going to have a release coming out next week. This is a single off of it. Currents is where we're going to close out.
I'm going to go with Sur.
And fight picks, I got Dillashaw.
Dillashaw. He's going to try to mimic that back suplex to flying arm more than Mighty Mouse did. Someone's going to try to stick something up Mighty Mouse's ass tomorrow.
I think he's going to show some big hands.
Right. I can't wait. I hope the stream works.
Yep. All right. Hey, you heathens. Another week in the bag.
Let's go get drunk.
Yeah, fuck yeah.